I've always said this: the world works on money, right?
Yeah.
So like it's everything is money, right? And so why and I have the opportunity to be able to go to college to study and for free, right? Like that's
it's free tuition. So
yeah, it's beyond me, right? And it's such an opportunity to study, to focus on something, and then later on be rewarded for it,
right?
And then what I want to do is start like businesses or investing or something, and start kind of building on that,
right?
And then providing for other people, mainly pastors in other countries, missions exactly, because it's very I mean the world works on money, right. So it's
can't live without it.
Exactly, you can't.
God bless, guys. My name is Wesley Perla. I'm here with Activados. Thank you for connecting with us again one more time. And we're here with Arnold Reyes and little brother Israel Reyes. And it's a pleasure to have Israel here today. Thank you for coming. For all of you that listened to the first English episode, thank you for connecting again. We're going to do another English episode today. We received a lot of great responses from everybody that listens to us. And we feel that it was a great blessing what we were able to do that day. And we feel like we have another great podcast today. And thank you, Israel, for coming. And thank you for being here. And obviously for accepting our invitation. Yeah, so I know it was hard for you to say yes. Yeah. So
yeah. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. You're probably our number one fan, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
And for those that don't know, this is Arnold's brother, and everybody knows Arnold. So if you want to go ahead.
So he's my little brother, and I think we're gonna share a little bit of what he's gone through and a little bit of what his struggles have been, because I think he's at a private age. And I remember being 19 years old, sometimes not knowing what I wanted to do with my life. Right. And struggling in school, struggling with a lot of different things. And I think he'll have a little different perspective than a lot of other kids, and talk about, the loss of our father as well. Yeah. So I think that's all going to be pretty great. And, it's pretty cool to have you on camera.
Definitely.
not behind the camera anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're on camera now, so.
Yeah. Normally I'm behind, but now I'm in front, right? So.
Yeah, you're the main attraction.
No.
You had to grow up quick, right? You had to grow up quick at 19.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's not, there's a big difference in what a loss makes, and also what 1 year makes as well. When I lost my dad, it's tough. It's very tough.
How old are you? You're 17? 17?
What?
You were 17 years old?
16.
16. Sorry.
Yeah. I was 16, and it was an experience. Like something I had lost my grandma, but we weren't that close. She was always in Mexico, and we didn't really visit her. But with my dad, it was very close. It was my dad. Right. We talked every day. He would pick me up from school. He'd pick me up from everything. And like I did sports for a bit, and he picked me up there too. It was this connection. I mean, it's my father, right? So, for him to be gone, it was a struggle.
Right.
I went into it junior year, and I told all my teachers and everything. And like looking back at it now, my mind was not in school. I talked to the counselors as well, and they would always say like, you should create a letter, write, do this, do that.
Distract your mind, basically.
Distract your mind, yeah, exactly. And, well, I did, it helped. But, it was still that emptiness of not having him there. Right. And looking back at it now, right? I mean, hindsight is 20/20, right? So, it's very different to look at it now. Right. And
you learned a lot.
Definitely. Yeah.
You think you learned a lot about your dad, or you learned a lot about yourself? Because during this process, I mean, I know you're 16 at the time, right? So a lot of things are coming up that you probably didn't know about. Probably your mom would tell you something that you probably didn't know about. Maybe a family member would come up and say something about your dad that you didn't know about. But what do you think? Let's talk about your dad. What do you think you learned about him that at that point you still didn't understand or didn't know at that point during that process? And then what did you think you learned after after he passed away?
After he passed away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And before. Sometimes when we're going through that process in life, a difficult time, you learn things about that individual that you didn't know about.
Yeah. I mean, to speak on to that, I mean, I guess, I mean, I didn't really, you know, I mean, I think I knew my dad, you know, I think I knew him pretty well, but I started kind of understanding him a lot more at that process, because, I mean, he had cancer for starting April, right?
3 months.
3 months, you know, took him 3 months, you know, and then he's gone, especially for like cancer, that's kind of short amount of time, so, you know, it was kind of like, how could I say it? You know, I knew him, but I started kind of understanding him. It's like
you've never seen him in that light either, right?
Yeah, no, he was never sick. That was the biggest part and kind of the biggest impact that it had on me. That he would be lying in bed like trying to rest, and my dad never rested. You know, he was always up doing something always. And I mean, he knows too. You know, we used to like just go outside and start working. You know, he would come home from work and we would just start working, and we knew, okay, that's the time that we're gonna start working now.
Because right now that you mentioned all that, like I remember like we were working outside with some brothers from church. And we were like cutting grass and tripping and everything, and he's inside like just anxious to get out. Like he couldn't because he was sick, and they told him no. And he came out to the porch, and he was in the porch, and he was standing there like just watching, and like you could see like his struggle, like wanting to do something.
He wanted to do more. Yeah.
My dad is the same way. He's like he wants to be involved. You know?
And I get that, like what you're saying, like because it's true. Like we knew him, but we didn't really understand him until that moment.
Until that moment, and until he passed away. You know, like it's. You know, I mean, there's so many like phrases and like quotes and things like that it's, you know, you don't really care for something until it's gone. You know, and that's kind of what hit me.
Right.
You know, it's like it's a true struggle that to have something that's always there, and then in an instant, gone. Yeah. You know. Yeah. I mean, we said our goodbyes and everything, right? And
you had thank God you had an opportunity.
Definitely, because we were. I mean, you know, like my father and I, we always had like arguments. I mean, I think most people, right, like have arguments and like everything, but you know, we were connected. You know,
especially with your kind of attitude.
Yeah.
Oh, he has a good attitude. Huh?
He has a bad attitude sometimes.
Sometimes
it was worse, but
yeah.
But I think that was the biggest thing. Understanding him during that process.
Yes.
And then afterwards, I think, I don't know, you can probably speak to that. I think after that process, you learn how to appreciate stuff, how to appreciate things in life that are always there, but you don't really fully appreciate them, like you said.
Definitely. You know, and like I used to really care about games, like that used to be like my thing.
Like video games or just sports?
Video games.
Video games.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, I guess sports too a little bit.
What did you play like at that time? What were you into
like video games? Fortnite.
No, Fortnite.
Fortnite.
That's what's popular then.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely.
It was
it's not popular no more.
No, it's super popular.
It's super popular still, but it's not as popular.
Back then, it was. I would say that was like the starting point.
That was the starting point. That's when he started. So and then it blew up.
Yeah. What did your dad think about the video games?
Did not like it. He did not like it. No, not
Why?
At all.
Because you were wasting your time doing that, or
I think so.
Or more of the actual the essence of the game.
Waste time. Wasting time. Yeah. Because and now I understand a lot of these things that you think are so precious to you are actually just useless. They're just a waste of time, and all those times, those hours that I used to spend playing games, I could have spent it with my dad. You know, that's one of the worst things to think about, because he had to get sick for me to realize
and appreciate him,
and to realize that I need to be there for him.
Yeah.
He had to get sick for me to realize that.
Right.
And that's what truly.
That's what you had to overcome the most.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because
That regret.
definitely.
Yeah.
Because he didn't, like, we spent time together, you know?
Right.
We always spent time. We always connected, and we had our alone times and everything, you know? We had family time as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue was that I didn't appreciate it. I didn't, like, realize that, okay, this is good, you know? And I guess it was a learning process, you know? Like, something you just learn, and you have to learn. And at that moment, you grow up.
Yeah.
Because it's, now you have to, you know, try in everything.
Yeah.
And that's that was my case. I have to start, you know.
Yeah, it's a big difference between making time and having time.
Yes.
Because a lot of us, when we're children, and I'll speak. Sometimes I make time for my parents, but it's different when you have time. And because your focus is on them, you know, you want, they're part of your life. And a lot of kids say, I have to make time for this. I have to make time for that. No, you have time.
Yeah.
Give it to them.
Yeah.
You know, so right now, because you never know, like we're in a situation right now, you never know when they're gonna go.
Yeah.
So you have time. Give them your time.
Exactly.
They give you their time. You know, you have time. And there's that phrase, I'm making time for my family. No, you have the time.
Yeah.
Just give it to them.
Yeah.
You know, and,
Exactly.
and now you experience that yourself firsthand, you know?
Yeah. It's a lot time management, man.
Yeah.
Time management, like
I'm pretty sure you're, especially now, we're going to college.
yeah,
and
especially
everything.
now. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, you have to finish this at this certain time, get through this, you know, and
Then you already have something waiting.
you already have something waiting,
Yeah.
like right there. It's
do,
everything's
yeah.
just back to back to back to back to back, you know.
So tell me something. Now that you're going to University of Texas, right? Praise God, you chose that university. Go Longhorns. Go Longhorns.
Right.
Did your dad knew that this is something that you wanted to do? Go to University of Texas.
Yeah.
He supported your education
Definitely.
and everything.
Yes.
What was I remember there was a moment where he told you something. Or
Yeah.
at the end.
Definitely.
Like
the last time.
The last time you spoke to him?
The last time I spoke to him, he asked me, "What do you want to do?" And I said mechanical engineering at UT, and he said, "Good, okay." He's like, "Work on that, fix that. You know, do whatever you can to do it. Do whatever you can to graduate. You know, and push through it. You know." And I mean, now I'm doing petroleum engineering, but I mean, it's kind of it's a little bit of change, just a little bit more specific field. So like, which benefits me.
Right.
But you know, it's still kind of the same thing that he would have wanted.
He would have supported.
Yeah, he would have supported.
For sure.
It. Yeah. He just wanted me to have a college education.
Right.
And that's kind of what I'm trying to do.
Did he help you? He influenced that on you?
Yeah.
College education?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
That's good.
Definitely. You know, it was school, church, home, school, church, home. You know, it's a constant like routine of that, you know. And
in the beginning, did you not like the routine? Like it was something that
yeah, I mean, you know,
it was too much, or was it like?
It's more like sometimes I just don't want to do it, you know.
What part of the routine do you don't want to do?
Sometimes it's school, sometimes it's church, you know, and it's just sometimes as a kid, you know, you just keep thinking like, oh, I want to go do my own thing, and it's not. But your idea of good, your idea of okay, this is fine. Like video games, like okay, I want to spend my time playing video games. I want to spend my time doing this, doing that. It's very just ignorant to real life, to what reality actually is. You know,
especially social media.
Yeah,
Because,
definitely.
I mean, a lot of kids are stuck on social media.
Yeah,
It's
It's
so
addicting,
easy,
man.
It's so
addicting.
easy to trap you.
Yeah.
It's so easy to trap you. Like there's been, so like him, he'll deactivate his account before he goes back to school.
yeah. I just kind of want to say
Like your social media accounts?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Except for Facebook, I just don't check Facebook. But
Yeah.
but yeah, mainly Instagram. And I mean, I'm slowing down, and I used to not like be so like attached to it, but I don't know what happened, but slowly it just started like kind of grabbing me, you know, and kind of.
Because when you got into photography and you would see just pictures like and study them.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
criticize the pictures?
yeah. Just be like,
What they
this
do.
looks good.
This looks really good.
Okay, this. How do they do that? You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was a lot of kind of looking and looking and looking, you know, and but you know, it's I normally deactivate it just to kind of be able to, because I'm kind of too lazy to log in, so I just don't want to log in either. So it's and then I realized
that's good.
Yeah, every time I check it back and I'm like, okay, I should reactivate it. I'm like, wait, no, it's a waste of time. Why should I? Yeah. Why should I?
And I think that's very good at a young age. You're learning how to use your time wisely, because I had to learn later in life. And so I think when you understand time, the importance of time, you're able to know how to manage it correctly now. When you get older, you're going to be way ahead of a lot of people that use their time in their 20s, 21s, 22s to just do the things that weren't unnecessary, you know?
Exactly.
And that's a blessing, you know, that you learn that.
You have to.
Yeah, you learn
you
that.
have to, you know?
But because of what happened, this tragedy that happened, because I call it, in my opinion, it's something tragic, because cancer, that's the way it is. It's a tragic illness, you know. It just takes everything away from you.
Yeah.
Even while you're even when you're trying to survive, your body really is just not there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize the process of chemotherapy.
Yeah.
That's not pleasant at all.
No.
That's not pleasant at all. They lose their taste.
Yeah.
They taste everything as metallic.
Yeah.
And so to cook, to try to prepare food for that person is really tough. But I mean it's
a really rough process, you know. I mean, he used to eat everything, you know, you know, he used to eat a little bit of vegetables, some meat, you know, proteins, everything, right? And then in this process, he just starts kind of, I just want a little bit. I don't want that.
Yeah.
He was not like that, you know. He was more like, okay, we have this, okay, I'll eat that, you know. And for a while, he was like that. Like, even in chemo, he was like that. He was, okay, I want that food. Okay, I can eat that, you know. I still remember one time, and I wonder if you do, but he told the congregation, he's like, you know, I know I'm sick, but you know, I'm translating from Spanish. But, I know I'm sick, but they say that I shouldn't be eating much, but I don't feel that.
I'm eating more.
I'm eating more.
I do remember that. Remember that. He's like, I know I shouldn't be eating much, but hey, praise God, I'm eating more. But I think you had a question.
I got a question in mind for you.
I completely cut it off.
No, it's good. It's good. How did you feel at the moment where you couldn't do anything? Because when you see your dad in that state, right? You can't do anything. He's your father, right? You can't. There's nothing you can do. What do you do?
I think I was numb.
Numb.
Because
to what was going on, or
everything.
Just everything?
Everything. Because it was just, it was a scenario that I was never in. So it's something I'm not used to, not accustomed to. I'm just here, and I'm just experiencing it for the first time, and I don't feel anything, you know. And I mean, my dad was there, you know, and then when we knew he passed away, you know, I was right beside him. Our whole family was right beside him, you know, and we were all there for him. And I was crying. I do remember that. I was crying and everything. But then afterwards, it was just numb.
Like you didn't believe it happened?
It was just kind of surreal, I guess. Okay. It was very, I just, you know, like thinking back on it, it's just all just a blur. And it's all just condensed.
In a short amount of time.
Because everything was just, he's gone, done. You know, and now we have the funeral, and everything just starts going faster. And he passed away July 25th, and the next month I started school. So in that span of the month, we had the funeral and everything. We had to plan, go, everything, and then school started. So it was everything just back to back to back, just through. And that was I guess my issue. Like I didn't really have time to grieve. And to cope with it. Yeah. So I believe it took a little bit longer. Like the process took longer than what it would have if I did have more time to grieve. But
it's because I think, and I remember like that time, the time period, he didn't want to talk. You know, he didn't want to talk to anybody.
He didn't want to talk at all.
Yeah, he wouldn't talk to us.
Wow.
Because he said he was fine.
Yeah.
He said he was fine,
but inside there was something going on.
Yeah. He said he was fine.
Like it's something that's going on that I don't even realize.
Yeah, he didn't realize.
Or did you not know what was going on?
Basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
He didn't realize. He thought he was fine. Like,
Yeah.
okay, he's fine. My dad's resting now, so I'm fine because he's okay.
He's okay. He's not suffering anymore.
Yeah.
He's good. You know, he's just resting. He doesn't have to suffer through this. I'm good. He's good. We're good.
But people don't realize that grieving or coping with stuff in the moment of grief is actually saying, you know, hey, I'm sad. Hey, this is actually going on in my life. And they would tell them at school.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, they would tell you at school, counselors, they would meet with him because he would have outbursts at times, especially at home. Not at school, but at home.
No, I did have an outburst
At school?
Yeah.
What type of outbursts did you have?
It was mostly like kind of anger in a way.
At somebody or something?
At I would be easily frustrated.
Okay.
Easily. And I already have a temper.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so like I try to calm
You
my
get that from your
emotions
dad or
down.
from your mom?
Both.
Both, definitely.
But you had to find a way to calm down?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you thought it was a natural temper or tantrum or outburst, or you thought it was because of what was going on?
I thought it was a natural one.
Yeah.
I never thought that losing my dad was gonna affect everything that much. You know, it's not something that I thought of. You know, it's something I had in the back of my mind, and it was affecting my mind. But I guess I blocked it. And
he thought he was at peace when in reality he was just holding back the floodwaters.
Exactly.
You don't think that maybe, because you know your dad better than I do, but maybe the way he approached things sometimes, that maybe you got those characteristics from him where you keep it inside a little bit?
Yeah,
definitely.
From
for
him?
sure.
Definitely,
Yeah.
for sure.
So sometimes there was something going on in your dad's life, and
Yeah.
when you see him, it was like nothing was going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Definitely.
That's for sure,
you
yeah.
think that's what maybe you were going through, like because of who he is and that, you know, that kind of
That's what we
characteristics?
learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we learned.
That's what he taught you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't tell us to do it. Like he would tell us, he would try to talk to us, but he just didn't know how to because of how he grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had no parents.
Right.
He had no parents to talk to.
Yeah.
He grew up an orphan, so
Oh wow.
it was like he had nobody to look up to.
Yeah.
And so when you're going through it, he's doing the same thing.
That your
He's
dad
not-
would show y'all basically in the
yeah,
past.
like it's all right. Everything's fine. Everything's at peace, and he wouldn't really be at peace.
Yeah.
I remember all that time, like we would be at home, and he'd be that year. I remember that year that school year was the craziest for you. Like,
it was
super-
it was very tough.
Was it evident in the grades and everything, or?
So my grades.
It's weird. It's so weird.
It's really weird.
Because
I ended up.
yeah.
It was the first year I got straight A's. In my entire high school career, like it was either one class or two classes that, or actually no, it was just always one class that I would get like a B in, and that would just ruin everything. But but
He's that
this
student.
year, but yeah.
He's that student.
Yeah, but this year, or well, not this year, right? But junior year, I ended up I took a lot of really hard classes. I took AP calculus, or not calculus, sorry, AP physics, and then I took pre-AP pre-cal, and then let me see, and then I had AP World History, but I mean I took that off because I was kind of thinking I'm dealing with too much. I shouldn't have this much to do. I should kind of lessen
It seems like you narrowed your focus into education and your studies.
Yeah.
You know.
I think I took an on-ramps class as well, which is kind of a UT's program, like UT Austin's program for students like in high school. And I took that too. And I mean, you know, I took athletics as well and some other courses, but yeah, it was very, I guess you could say, it was a loaded schedule, right? And I mean, I did also take engineering, and so it was a lot.
I'm already lost. I'm like, yeah. What's your best memory with your dad?
With my dad.
Yeah, what's your best memory? I don't know if you were younger.
He's gonna think about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about it.
You had a lot, or just a few here
bunch.
far in between?
Yeah.
Because there's different.
There's a lot of
memories.
things I don't think about, you know, because I'm very narrow-minded. So like
He focuses,
I focus
like-
too much on what's in the future, what's in the present, but I never really think.
Think in the past.
Yeah.
Your favorite moment.
Yeah, he doesn't
Favorite
dwell.
moment,
that
yeah.
much.
Because I saw a picture of your dad when he went to Israel.
Yeah.
You know, and I saw he was in the background of a picture
Yeah.
with my and he looked so happy in Israel.
Yeah, that was his dream, man.
That was his dream trip.
That was his dream trip. Go to Israel and see everything over there, and he got to climb Mount Sinai.
Yeah,
he got to climb it.
But he was fine during that travel.
That was 2 years prior. It was a couple years prior.
Mm-hmm.
And that was his dream to go there.
Yeah, definitely. And thinking about it, I think I do know. We used to go to Guatemala a lot.
Okay.
A lot, and I guess it was just nice spending country. That. I like Guatemala. Very nice. Yeah. We went to what's it called? Las Ruinas de Tikal.
Okay.
So,
Tikal
ruins. Yeah. And we went there.
How old were you?
And
all right, this is how spoiled he is. So I only went once with my dad.
Yeah.
I was 7 years old, and he went like in the span of like 10 years. He went at least 3 times.
Yes.
4 times.
Yeah, that's right.
At least.
Yeah.
And he was the one that was going.
Especially when you were in college too, right? When you were in college.
That too, but just in general, bro.
Yeah. He was always working, so he didn't have free time.
Even then, bro.
Also, didn't you?
I'm still salty.
I think it was your passport. No, wasn't it expired?
Oh yeah, my passport is expired.
That's why.
That's his fault. That's his fault. Get that passport active now.
Yeah, you'd go to Guatemala a lot.
Yeah.
So you like that trip? That's one of the trips you remember.
Always, because it
was just them two.
It was us two. We used to go to places and kind of see things, eat different foods.
Yeah.
And I would learn more about him as well.
Yeah, because
his past.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. With his brothers, sisters, and it was just nice. It was a nice time to spend with him.
That's good.
So.
Yeah, vacations are always good.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're more relaxed and
and
you're enjoying the moment, and that's where you're able to have better memories.
Yeah.
And those vacation memories are really hard to beat.
Yeah.
Because you're learning things.
Yeah.
We've taken one or two, I think.
We've taken several, bro. We've been on the same trip several times.
Several times. Every time there's something.
Yeah.
Every time there's something.
Yeah.
And I still remember those tacos in California, man. They were so good. But
the koji, bro.
The koji tacos.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
You need to try them.
I've never tried them, but
they're so good, bro.
Yeah. I was watching a show about the chef.
Oh
yeah. He's good.
Yeah.
So
that was so good.
Now that you're 19, what is one thing that has happened to you that you wish your dad had seen?
Getting into UT.
So you hadn't been accepted to UT?
No, because I was 16, so I was barely entering junior year, and then senior year is the year you apply. So he didn't see that.
So he didn't
even see me graduate.
Did he know that was one of your dreams, going to UT?
Yeah, okay. Definitely.
So
he knew about it, but he had never seen me do it. And I guess also graduating high school. So
you wish your dad would have seen that. Yeah. What about your spiritual life or your something about your personality that has developed over the last 3 years that you wish your dad had seen?
My dad had seen.
Yeah, something about you, not your education, but something that you grew in, something that you developed. Because I think we develop certain things at certain ages in our life.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to answer for you, but I think I know what the answer is. You guys so involved in ministry. You're getting so involed in ministry.
Oh really? Oh, okay.
I mean, because you handle.
I was thinking more like maturity.
Yeah, that too.
Is this maturity?
Yeah, I mean that too.
Yeah. So
that too. I mean both of those aspects for sure.
I mean the thing is, those things wouldn't have happened if he was still here. Right. So these are kind of
like the ministry wise
and also like maturity, because I mean I balance a lot of ministries,
And, so you're very mature for a 19-year-old.
I believe so.
Yeah. At times.
At times. Okay, yeah, that's a better way.
I think at times is more correct.
I like
yes.
that. Yeah, I like that. That sounds good.
That is good.
Yeah.
No, it's tough. I mean, 16 years old. People lose a loved one at that age. But what would you tell somebody that's your age that has gone through the same process that you're going through the same process? Not just maybe a father, maybe a mother, maybe a grandmother. Like what? I know you probably dove into your education and things, but what about spiritually with God? What did you do? I mean, because that's what I want to hear. Because I think what helped you cope with this loss?
You know, what helped me cope was just taking it a day at a time.
Okay.
It was, days passed by and then months passed by, but all of that, you have your days and all of that.
Yeah.
So just take it a day at a time and just kind of, you'll cry sometimes, you'll feel sad, lonely. I felt that, but yeah, just it's a day at a time, and you won't ever fully cope with it, but you will reach a point where you accept it, and when you accept it, that's when it's everything starts becoming a little bit more normalized, more normal, I guess, and praying, prayer is a big one, because I mean, as a kid, you don't really like pray, you don't really think to pray and think to do this, to do that, but what prayer does is, you're talking to God, and you're communicating with him, and God works in mysterious ways, and sometimes you don't understand it, but eventually, you'll be fine. You will be fine. You will get through it. But you have to take it a day at a time. Pray every day. Communicate and communicate with your family. I always used to say, what is my mom gonna say? What is my brother gonna say? They're going through the same process I'm going through.
Right.
So why should I ask them? Okay, help me with this. But sometimes it just helps to talk. It's not even who you're talking to. It's just talking. And that's kind of the main gist of it.
Yeah.
To just take it a day at a time and just talk it out in a way.
And I'm pretty sure you're still taking it a day at a time right now.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, imagine one day you'll graduate from UT, Lord willing. You would want to see your dad there, One day you get married, you would want to see your dad there.
Exactly.
Have your grandkids. But then that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Right now it's the what you learned from him in the 16 years that he was with you. Yeah. That God allowed him to live with
exactly.
you. And I'll tell you one thing, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but there's one thing I will tell you, that men of God, when they're going through this process, they pray for recovery in their kids. And he probably prayed that prayer for you both and your mom. That, he probably prayed that and asked God for healing even after he was gone. Because, from understanding your dad, he was under God's will at that point, but he also prayed for you to go through this process. And you might not realize that, but he knew that you would go through a process. And he prayed before he left. He probably prayed and said, hey, my kids are in your hands, my wife is in your hands, and I know they'll go through. And it's not easy. I know it's not easy. No, but not at all. But one thing that, the God is going to use you in great ways, and I feel that way. And just I've never had this type of conversation with you, but we joke around, we have fun, but at the end of the day, we understand what our focus is. So and now you're inspiring other teenagers as well, right? People your age. How does that feel being a leader of other people your age?
How does it feel? Oh man, these are questions I haven't I've never thought of it.
Right.
Analyzed.
Yeah. It's a process. Every teenager, every kid is different. Right. And you have to work with each one of them, but it has to be each one of them. You can't just copy and paste everywhere. It's some kids, even from the same families, are completely different. Right. And that's kind of something you realize, I guess. And
it's not cookie cutter.
Exactly. Yeah.
Every person's different.
Exactly. And and trying to balance all of it as well. It's very difficult. Balancing and kind of doing it, but why you're doing it. You know why you're trying to also teach these kids. And the end goal and what the true purpose is. And we all know it's God,
right.
We're trying to lead these kids into God, the youth into God, and that's kind of where you're trying to push it to, and working on fundamentals as well, their prayer lives, their spiritual lives, just making sure those are or it, because it's spiritual life, right? Making sure that's good, that's solid, and then working with them, you know.
Right.
And as a leader, you know, can have to inspire that, you know, and I believe in leading by example. So
Right.
I try to be the best me, and you know, and then everything will work out, you know, because God works in different ways, and that's kind of what I think, you know, like in that sense. So
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that, because there's people that don't understand that, and they're 30 years old. You know, they're 40 years old, that you got to lead by example, and that you have to adapt to each person. When you try to do certain things a certain way and think that it's going to work for everybody, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that's good that you definitely are mature. You know, so you definitely are
I
mature.
try to be. Yeah. I try to be.
Arnold, what are you proud about your brother? I mean, to finish off today.
I think he's much more. I would say one of our biggest differences is he's much more determined, in the sense that, and that's what I think I'm very proud of. Whenever he sets himself a goal, he's gonna try to hit it. He's gonna meet it.
Keep talking.
Keep pumping him up. Yeah.
No, just, you know, whenever he sets his mind to something, he can do it.
Right.
And the problem becomes when he thinks he can't do something.
Yeah.
Then I think I can't do it.
And that's what he sets.
I'm so determined that it becomes, if I know I can't, or well, actually no, if I think I can't do it,
he determines it in himself.
I determine in myself, and I already know that I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
So,
and that's something that I need to work on, especially with college. So
you'll be all right, and I think that hopefully one day we'll be able to have you here again, and we can have a little recap of how things are going. And because one thing I want to talk to you one day is about how to balance out your education with God and putting God first. And, you know, so because I know we have a lot of listeners that go to college as well, and want to serve God as well. So I would like to talk to you about that one day. Yeah. But for the time being, man, you did great. Thank you for being here. This is we expect that this is going to help somebody. Your testimony, keep talking about it.
Exactly.
You know, what the words you say, you may say it 1,000 times, but it's going to help 1,000 people in 1,000 different ways.
Yeah, you know, it's all for God.
Amen.
You know, to grow the kingdom of God, and that's truly the purpose that everything is under. You know, you go to college, like in my purpose, you know, I'm going to college to become a petroleum engineer, and the reason I chose petroleum engineering is you know, I've always said this: the world works on money. Right.
Yeah. So
like it's everything is money, right? And so why and I have the opportunity to be able to go to college to study and for free, right? Like that's
free tuition. So
yeah, it's beyond me, right? And it's such an opportunity to study, to focus on something, and then later on be rewarded for it.
Right.
And then you know, and then what I want to do is start, you know, like businesses or investing or something, and start kind of building on that,
right,
and then providing for other people, mainly, you know, pastors in other countries,
missions,
you know, missions exactly, because it's very, you know, I mean, the world works on money, right. So it's
can't live without it.
Exactly, you can't, and so I want to be able to give to the missions and like to be able to expand the kingdom of God, to help those in need, because you know I've heard my parents' story, you know, and his story too, of that sometimes they didn't have food to eat and they would just pray, and then somebody would arrive with a basket of food, you know.
Wow. And
yeah, it's blessings on blessings, you know, and you know I want to be that blessing for somebody too, and you know, and if that's happening here, imagine in like Ecuador, in other countries, you know.
It's tough.
And so
what I will say, your dad left a great legacy. So he left a great legacy in his YouTube, and you keep working hard, keep making God proud, making him proud.
Definitely.
Even though he's not here, but he knows that he did a good job. So and that's what's important. And I'm proud of you, learning more about you. This is awesome, and we thank God for your life, and we're going to continue praying for you and your ministry, and also the desires of your heart, and that's important, that you keep working hard. Nothing's going to be easy, And they just keep working hard.
I'm noticing
that. Nothing's gonna be easy. And we want to thank everybody that connected with us today. Thank you for listening to this amazing testimony. And we expect that this is gonna do great things in your life. And keep listening. Keep focusing on God, and which is the most important thing. And I'm telling you, just plant that seed of faith, and you'll see God move in great ways. And keep liking our videos. Keep sharing our videos, and let everybody know that. We're available for their edification. So, and keep praying for this ministry that we have, and keep praying for Arnold and I. We want to do a lot of things, but we can't do everything at once. So little by little, we're progressing. So we thank you for connecting with us. Thank you, Israel, for being here with us. And man, good job, man. I appreciate it. Good job, and God bless everybody. And we'll see you next time.